Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kevin back with yet another video to help you achieve the best version of you. If you're like me, you absolutely hate it when you've decided to implement better habits into your life and then struggle to make them stick. I know we've all been there. You all have the enthusiasm, all the excitement to live a better life. And then all of a sudden, it's quickly met with the feeling of defeat the minute you start struggling. But perhaps the reason why you're struggling isn't because you figured out the what to change, but you haven't really properly planned out how to change. And if that's the case, then you've clicked on the absolute right video, because today what I want to do is I want to share with you guys 7 tips, 7 things that have helped me to get new habits in my life to stick. And I hope it does the same for you. Oh, and make sure you stick around because I got an amazing, interesting bonus tip that I need your feedback on. And with that, let's get it. All right, so let's waste no time, jump right into this video so you can get back out there living your amazing lives and conquering your goals. And we're gonna get right into it with tip number 1, which is to know your why. Now, I know that this is probably gonna sound very obvious to you guys, but the first thing you really need to do is truly understand your why. Because knowing your why refers to understanding the purpose or the motivation behind your actions or your goals. And it's really the underlying reason or belief that's gonna drive you to do what you do. And understanding your why is obviously going to help you make better decisions, stay focused, motivated, and ultimately make your habits stick. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to implement new habits into my life and then never really truly understood the reasons why I was doing it or the motivation behind it. And if I'm being real honest with you guys, it's probably just because it seemed like the trendy thing to do at the time. But needless to say, it just never worked out. So you really need to ask yourself, why is creating this new habit meaningful to me, right? What's the real motivation behind wanting to implement whatever the new habit is into my life? And what is the consequence to me not seeing this thing through? And you got to remember that consequences have both positive and negative effects. Now, maybe your why is a result of some bad news that you just got from your doctor. Maybe it's also because you're so determined to prove that all the negative things that have been said about you throughout your life is a complete lie. But whatever it is, you need to know your why. And tip number 2 is to start small. Now, I'm sure we've all been guilty of falling into the New Year's resolution trap, right? Where we come up with these long lists of new habits and goals that we want to achieve, and then before you know it, we're struggling to make anything stick and we're right back where we started. Now, while the start of a new year is always a great chance to wipe the slate clean and start fresh, let's be honest, trying to get into any new habit just really isn't easy. Now, in fact, it's said that it can take up to 66 days for a new habit to stick and become automatic. That's over 2 months. Now, multiply that by your laundry list of new habits and you can quickly see where I'm going with this. And the worst thing you can do is overburden yourself and end up feeling like you're not really accomplishing anything at all. So I'm going to suggest to you that you just start with one thing, or a relatively short list, like really short, as being the best option. And then as that new habit sticks, you can go ahead and start adding more. Now, in other words, spreading yourself too thin, trying to master too many new habits all at the same time is often going to leave you feeling like little is being accomplished, and it ends up being a demotivator. And tip number 3 is to focus on a short duration. Now, while I was first getting into the habit of reading, I knew it was going to be hard for me. And it's not because I don't know how to read, but I just never really found it enjoyable. And I found it quite boring, to be honest. But I always knew and heard of the profound benefits of reading. And I remember the first book I started with just took me forever. Wait, did I even finish that book? I vividly remember trying to read chapters at a time, but I just hadn't developed the concentration to stay focused, so I just naturally gave up. But the next time around, I discovered a new strategy, which was just reading for 10 minutes, right? So I would start a timer, read for 10 minutes, and wherever I was at that time, I would just stop. And eventually, that 10 minutes just wasn't long enough, and I naturally expanded the duration of time as I developed my rhythm in reading. So maybe you've decided to start going for runs, going to the gym, reading, or whatever it might be, but start by focusing on a short duration and over time, let that expand. You could try being consistent with your new habit for a week or two instead of setting a goal for 3 months right off the bat. So Just stop trying to conquer the world in a week, and remember the adage that you gotta crawl before you can walk, and you gotta walk before you can run. Tip number 4 is to make your habit smart. Have you ever said to a friend, hey, let's get coffee, and then 8 months later you still haven't gotten that coffee? Now this is similar to when you say things like, I'm gonna eat healthier, or I'm gonna work out, or I wanna save more money. See, none of these phrases are smart by any stretch. And as you hopefully remember from previous videos, smart habits are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. And when they're smart, there is a higher likelihood of success. Now, I could do a whole video again on SMART goals, so if you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments. But each one of these could be written much better or smart. And it could look like this. I will only have 2 servings of bread each day for 1 month. Or I will do 20 sit-ups every other day during the month of March. Or maybe it could be, I will save $50 in the next 30 days by only making coffee at home. Now, I hope you can see the noticeable difference on how making your habits smart and writing them down that way gives you a roadmap to actually making that habit stick. Tip number 5 is to anchor the new habit to something you already do. Now, we all have habits and things that we do automatically without even thinking about it, like brushing our teeth, getting dressed, even down to maybe what train we catch to get to work. So a great strategy is to pair that new habit with one you already do. So let's say you wanted to start doing push-ups, reading, and getting better at picking out your clothes before work the next day. It could look like this. After I make my morning coffee, I will read for 10 minutes. After I brush my teeth, I'll do 10 push-ups. Or before I go to bed, I'll pick out my clothes for tomorrow. So write yourself a list of routine things that you do on a daily basis, and then next to it, write a list of all the habits that you want to start. Then take those 2 lists, take a good look at them, and then see where you can stack those habits together. I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed at the value that comes from this exercise and the value that you're going to get from more videos just like this one. And all you need to do is give the video a like and hit subscribe. No, seriously, subscribe. All right, so I'm gonna throw in my bonus tip right here. And I wanna say thanks to @NaomiJames_NPC for giving me the idea on this one. Now the bonus tip is to create a habit theme. Now instead of creating a habit or goal in a singular item such as going to the gym, look at your habit in a wider view such as living a healthier lifestyle. You see, because if the goal is just about going to the gym, on the days that you miss it and just physically can't make it, you may end up feeling down about yourself because, you missed that day. But when you create a theme, like living a healthier lifestyle, there can be various contributing habits that make up that one theme. So today, you may not have made it to the gym, but you went for a walk, you got a full night's sleep, made a healthier meal choice at lunch, or maybe you took the stairs instead of the elevator. All of those are actions that contribute to the overall theme. I found this one pretty insightful. Go ahead down in the comments and let me know if you think this one was cool just like I did. Now tip number 6 is to identify and anticipate roadblocks. Let's admit it, we're really good at coming up with a list of all these things that we want to do, but how often do we really plan for the things that might mess up our momentum? It's great that you want to get out of debt, but have you planned for what happens if your hours at work are cut and you get less pay? Or what if an unexpected expense like a car repair comes up? See, there are so many things that go beyond our control that it makes it necessary for us to really have some forethought and anticipate workarounds to things if they don't go according to plan. And the best way to do that is to create what we call if-then statements, right? So what you do is prepare in advance for obstacles that will come up. So if my work hours are cut, I'll compensate by doing Instacart deliveries. Or if an unexpected expense comes up, I'll use my money in my emergency fund. You could also say, if I get home late from work and can't make it to the gym, I'll work out at home. Our greatest opportunity for failure is really at the moments when the unexpected come up. But if you already have a plan in place, just in case, you'll be much more likely to stay on the right path. And as we know it said, failing to plan is a plan to fail. Now, tip number 7 is don't break the chain. Now, full disclosure, I'm not sure if this is urban myth or if it's actual fact, but if you like Jerry Seinfeld like I do, you're gonna like this story anyways. Now, the story goes that Seinfeld was asked by an up-and-coming comedian how he too could be successful just like Jerry. And his reply was pretty simple. He said, don't break the chain. He went on to explain that he commits himself to writing at least one joke every single day in an effort to be consistent and master his craft. Now, when he's done for that day, what he does is he marks a big X on his calendar, and each one of those X's makes a chain of X's. And visually what happens is there becomes this pride in not breaking the chain that the desire to skip a day is overpowered by not wanting to break the chain. So when you've decided on the habit that you want to become consistent in, what you really need to do is just find a visual way, whether it's a physical calendar or by using one of the many habit tracking apps and commit yourself to not breaking the chain. I'd love to hear your thoughts and perspective on everything that I've shared, so go ahead, leave a comment down below, because you could be inspiring someone else, and I look forward to engaging with you there. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.